Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Working in Hockey podcast. I'm their host, Nick Bowins, and I gotta say, this has been our most requested role, an equipment manager. So I'm super stoked to be joined today by my guy, Luke Hunter, equipment manager for the Des Moines Buccaneers in the USHL. Luke, how we doing?
Pretty good. How are you, Nick?
I'm good. Pleasure to chat here. Excited to dive in and nerd out with you on all the equipment and gear talk we can. But for the people who may not know the day-to-day duties of an equipment manager, give me a brief overview. What are you doing? What are your main responsibilities?
Really, everything I do is maintaining the guys' gear, making sure our locker room's always looking good and perfect. Everything looks the same. Getting the guys whatever they need to get out there and hopefully go out and win a hockey game and then win the Clark Cup.
Absolutely. That's the goal. That's the goal. But I feel like with equipment managers, a lot of times it's, ambiguous or not top of mind for people. I played some crappy junior myself. I've worked with OHL teams. Like I know firsthand how much equipment managers matter and how much you guys do behind the scenes. But, it's not just cutting sticks and sharpening skates. What all sort of duties are you doing most frequently there?
Packing bags. I order everything from the toiletries to the towels to snacks to laundry supplies and anything that we need for the locker room. Like this year, I ordered 5 clocks because we needed new clocks throughout our locker room. So had to
It's
get those all
everything.
set up today. Yeah, everything
That's
from
awesome.
designing the locker room changes that we do every summer to just making sure that everything has our logo on it and everyone that comes here knows that this is Buccaneer Arena.
Absolutely. No, I think that's well said. And yeah, I mean, the Bucks are definitely a well-known franchise in the league, right? Been around for
Yeah.
quite a while now. So I think that's one of the things that I find common with all equipment managers. It's putting a ton of pride in the logo and in the name, right? That's your job is to make everything look perfect.
Yeah. Everything like there's a philosophy that I try to take is if you can customize it, customize it. So I've got a bin of Bucks stickers where everything we get gets a Bucks logo put on it, whatever I can do to make sure that everything, has our logo on it. Because we've had some great hockey players play here. Like I want you
Absolutely.
guys to be proud of that.
Absolutely. No, and it's unique when it's junior too, right? Because guys are only there for a couple years.
Yeah.
Guys get dealt, guys get cut, different things at different times, right? So you're trying to make the most of their experience while they're there for however long it is, right?
Yeah, just try to, treat them every day like it's the NHL where you get everything under the sun and it's all got the team logo on it. So every shirt that the guys get has the Bucks logo on it. Every piece of clothing that they could ever need from their gitch to the stuff that they're wearing to work out, it's all customized to say Buccaneers hockey.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you touched on the NHL there. Obviously, when we get to the National Hockey League, we've
Oh,
seen the behind the scenes videos. There's three,
yeah.
four guys. Everybody's got a different domain. Somebody might be the skate guy, somebody might be the packer and the driver. When we're in the USHL, you're the only guy there, my friend. How is it balancing things at different times?
It can be tough. I get to the rink on game days at like 5 a.m. and I pretty much don't leave until sometimes I just don't leave and I'm here all night just doing laundry for the visiting team too. But it's fun, it's tough, but I'd rather be doing this than sitting at a desk in a high rise somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, you're doing it for the love of the game, that's for sure. And yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, what your sort of schedule is there. So you're getting there 5, 6 a.m. on game days. Talk to me about morning skates, practices. What's the sort of schedule for the Bucks, and how's that affect you?
Our coach doesn't believe in morning skates, so we don't
Perfect.
really do them. So
Perfect.
for me, it's just, I clean the locker room every game day. I shine the helmets and visors and make sure that everything's good. If helmet stickers need to be replaced on game days, I do that. Then I go through, set up towels, jerseys, socks, and it's just me. So like I throw some tunes on in the locker
Yeah.
room, blast it, and then just have time to myself and make everything perfect because that's it's so much fun for me to just do.
Yeah, no, and like I say, it's all about the pride in it, and that's
Yeah.
evident with every equipment manager. I want to get into the guys a little bit and some of, the
Okay.
uniques or superstitions and whatnot. But first, like, tell me how you became an equipment manager. You spent 2 years with the Wichita Thunder there in the East Coast Hockey League. You've been with the Des Moines Buccaneers for 2 years. How did you first kind of fall into or find out about being an equipment manager?
I grew up going to hockey games in Wichita since I think I went to my first one when I was 2 weeks old.
Sweet.
My family was always season ticket holders, so I was just always around the rink. And over the years, you kind of get to know the staff and stuff. And the ever since I was little, the general manager, the coaches, the equipment managers, they've all been trying to get me to be stick boys and just, work with the team
Yeah.
because it was always like something that they wanted me to do. And I finally said yes to them when I was 18. I was like, yeah, I'll come on. I'll help out. And
Yeah.
I started just game nights only, and it evolved from there to me being full time on staff, and now I'm here running my own operation in the USHL.
That's awesome. It's again keeps coming back to the love of it, but that's
Okay.
exactly what it is. And then you went for sport management in college there as well, correct?
Yeah, I majored in sports management in college. Did that when I was working in Wichita, and it I went online so that way I could travel with the team and stuff. So that
Perfect.
was pretty cool. A little bit of a different experience than a lot of people have in college, I'm sure. But it was a lot of fun, and it's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
It was really cool to be able to do that, and that's what a lot of the guys majored into. So if I ever needed help with something, I always had the books.
Yeah, perfect. I'll sharpen your skates if you help me with this.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, so that's awesome then. Definitely different,
Yeah.
like you said, to be able to do that simultaneously with school and you kind of knew going into school what you wanted to get out of it already.
Yeah, this is the only job I've had since I turned 18. Ever since I got out of high school, this is all I've ever done. So I
Sweet.
knew always since then that I wanted to be an equipment manager for a hockey team and get to live that dream every day. So it's pretty sick.
Totally, totally. And again, equipment managers, I keep saying it, but absolute salt of the earth people like
Oh, yeah.
do anything to help anyone. And I know that equipment managers stick together too, right? Like you guys are all friends with one another because you all understand the grind and what you go through to get there. But in your opinion, what skills, what characteristics are most common with equipment managers that make them such helpful people overall?
They're just fun guys to be around. Like one of my favorite things about going to all these buildings that we go to and going to other cities is getting to meet the equipment guys, the other teams, and getting to
Yeah,
see them. Because like you said, we're all super close. Like there's guys in the league that I talk to every day. There's guys in the league that I don't talk to as often, but like I still get so excited to see them. And then like going to some of the cities, there's other teams that play in those cities and those buildings, and you get to meet those guys, and it's really cool. Like this year we went up to Green Bay, and I got to meet Red Batty, who was the equipment manager of the Green Bay Packers for 35 years. An absolute legend. It was awesome.
that's super cool. Yeah, and you talk about going on the road there. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, Luke, but when you're packing up for a road trip, you're going to Omaha, Lincoln, wherever. What are you in charge of packing? Tell me all the little stuff that people don't think of beyond the gear.
I pack extra holders for their skates. That way, if someone breaks a holder on their bower or a trigger on their bower holder or extra steel, I pack our player of the game pirate hat and sword for every road trip.
Yeah,
I pack 4 pirate flags for every road trip because whenever we get to a visiting locker room, we're hanging flags everywhere to make sure that, it's our locker room and everyone knows that.
totally. Very cool. Very cool. And are the guys helping you out? Are they packing their bags or is that all you?
Uh, it depends on the road trip.
Sure.
Sometimes the guys will come in and pack their bags, but I like to have them packed for them. So, but it doesn't always happen. There's
Fair
there's
enough.
days where it's just me. So
Yep.
there's days.
Yep. Yeah, and there's some long road trips in junior too, no doubt. You're going on a road trip. How many sticks is the average guy taking these days? I feel like they break so easily now.
Yeah. For a 1 game road trip, I'll bring 3 to 4 for every guy. So
Okay.
let's say we're going to Omaha for a Friday night game and then coming back to Des Moines on Saturday. I'm only bringing like 3 to 4 for each guy. If it's like a full 3 game weekend, every guy's bringing at least 6.
Wow. Yeah. No, it's crazy and it adds up, right? You think about however many guys on a team, that many sticks, the holders, the blades, like you said, all the little things, extra shells, extra buckets, everything in between. It's a full house when you get packing there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy the amount of stuff we bring.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely, absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about superstitions, athletes in general, but hockey players specifically. known to be pretty superstitious,
Yeah.
right? Everybody has their own little tricks and gimmicks with their gear. What are some of the weirder ones you've seen? What are some of the ones that are surprisingly common?
One of the weirdest is a kid that we have named Ilya Protis.
Okay, good player.
Yeah, he's a very good player. He's gonna get drafted this year.
Yeah,
He was number 50 in North America on the Central Scouting list. He only ever has two sticks on the stick rack, so he's the one exception to that three stick rule.
yeah,
Because he likes to only ever have two different sticks on the rack. So if one's not working for him, he can switch it up,
gotcha,
which I've
gotcha.
never seen before. But
Yeah.
he was all USHL rookie first team, so it's working out for him.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Perfect. When it comes to, skates, gloves, a lot of guys cut out liners, they
yeah.
tweak the tongues, the laces.
Yeah.
Anything unique with that you've had to deal with?
I have we had one kid the last couple of years where he wouldn't do the top three eyelets on his skates.
Wow,
So I had to like order him some super short laces because he was a really good skater and his dad is a power skating coach over in Slovakia and his mom's like a figure skater over there too. So I just ordered him some really short laces because he wouldn't tie his skates tight at all. Just skip the top three eyelets, which I'd never seen either.
yeah, yeah. Again, I guess whatever works, eh? That's
Yeah,
your job to help them out. Talk
yeah.
to me about goalies. Goalies are weird, but at the
Holy,
same time, so much customization with
oh
goalie
yeah,
gear these days, eh?
oh yeah. Goalies are weird. We've had some weird goalies here in Des Moines, but they've all been awesome. We had the one of the goalies at Boston College, Jan Korik, last year. Jan loves hockey gear. That guy, he would love this podcast that we're recording right now. He is a guy that like we got some new helmets in partway through the year, and I told him about it. He came to the rink that night to help me put visors on because he just loves it so much.
That's awesome. Hey, it would take a couple of those on every team, make your
Yeah.
life easy.
Yeah, like he would tape the entire team's sticks for him and stuff. Like if they didn't want to tape a stick, they knew Jan would.
Yep, fair enough, fair enough. You talked about the blades and the holders there. Skates themselves have changed quite a bit over the last few years. How often are you changing guys' blades out? What's the process, and do you like the new techniques and tools?
It depends on the guy really. Some guys we have they get their skates sharpened every day. So our captain this year went through like six pairs of blades. He was going through a pair like every month. And then we had a couple guys who we had one guy, he's like, I only get my skates sharpened like twice a year at the
Wow.
start of the year and then at Christmas break. And I'm like, okay. So he went through two pairs all season because I always have a backup pair for
Yeah,
every guy.
yeah,
So
yeah. Very
yeah.
cool, very cool. No, again, everybody's very different in their preferences, and yeah, strange. Only twice a year. I can't imagine I would be skating in mud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I guess in terms of during the game, you always see those viral clips of equipment managers grabbing the different sticks. What are you doing during a game? How often are guys changing twigs, changing gloves?
Yeah.
What's your responsibility after puck drop?
I try to do that. Some of our guys call it playing the piano. So some of the guys will tell you I play the piano during the game a little bit. Um, just having fun with our backup goalie. You
Yeah,
know, we're just have trying to have fun on the bench, him and I, because he was a good kid this year, so he was fun to be around. Like he would trade pucks for chicken tenders and stuff on the bench for himself. So I always had snacks for him because he'd bring me candy before the game and like I want a pack of this every period. We had some guys that would change gloves every like period, every 10 minutes. So I had to be on top of that. Guys would change sticks every once in a while, but not really too much other than playing the piano and trying to listen for broken sticks and
yeah.
watch for guys falling for no reason, make sure that wasn't happening.
Yeah, sounds good. No, very interesting. Like I say, that playing the piano clips are always mind-boggling to people who have never seen it before, right?
Yeah,
They're like, they do that all game? That's crazy.
yeah.
Are you doing water bottles, your BioSteels, body armors, whatever it is now too? You helping the trainers much, or how's
Yeah.
kind of the relationship with them?
No, our athletic trainer's awesome. He's new this year. This was his first year
Cool.
working for us. But he worked in the SPHL previously, so he's awesome. He's really good. So he does a lot of like the waters and stuff that the guys consume himself. But I'll help him out with it if he needs it. Like if I know he's dealing with an injury and he's not able to do it, I'll just hop in and do it so that way he doesn't have to worry about it. Take that off his hands.
Yeah, sure. And last one, I guess, major here in terms of what I view as super important for an equipment manager, but give me your thoughts, of course, is you touched on it earlier, just the camaraderie with the guys, right? It's building that trust, building that relationship. I mean, your Instagram, there's tons of pictures of you just having fun with the guys and just hanging out, right? Like, how important are those relationships with your players?
It's so important. Like even when I was working in Wichita, it was important to be like close to the guys. Like, you know, you're with them constantly. So you kind of even like you, the coaches and the guys, you kind of become like a little family because like I see them more than my family. Like I spend more time with these kids than I do my parents and my grandparents back home.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's important to have like that relationship with them. Like during the summer, I'll play beer league with a couple of them up here because a couple of them are like live here, so
locals.
play on the same beer league team.
That's
So,
funny. That's funny.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Perfect. Well, Luke, listen, this has been awesome, man. Can't appreciate or can't thank you enough for doing this here. Last
it's
one from me is what advice would you give, 16, 18-year-old, 20-year-old kid that wants to get into equipment management? What career advice would you give them?
uh if you have a local team, like reach out and see if they need any help because like honestly in Wichita, like that's really what happened. Like the equipment manager was like, "Hey, we need help. Like, are
Yeah,
you interested?" And then that year, I worked an ECHL All Star game, and a couple of guys on that team are in the NHL right now. So you never know, like who you're gonna work with, and, like guys where they're gonna end up, and the impact that you can have on each other. It's awesome.
totally. No, well said. And like I said before, equipment managers, they're the heart and soul of the team. They're the team guys. They're the glue guys. Luke, you are no different there. You absolutely personality of an equipment manager in the best way possible, my man. So thank you again for hopping on here. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at I believe it's Luke underscore Hunter 19. Twitter it's Luke underscore Hunter 91. I post pictures of our locker room setups and stuff throughout the season, how our guys are doing, how some former players that I've had in my career are doing. So just try to support the guys that have had an impact on my career.
Yeah, lots of awesome behind the stuff on your Instagram page there. So, Luke, thank you again, man. Guys, be sure to subscribe. Check out the free weekly newsletter for all open roles in hockey. Luke, rest up, enjoy the off season.
Thank you. I will.